Morning glory, America. Bonjour, hi, Canada. It's Hugh. Bret Baier is, I think, the most respected journalist in the United States on the network news every single night, and he's got a heck of a job between now and the election picking what to cover. Bret, our colleague and friend, Bret Hugh, is getting dragged on the internet this morning because he just raised a question. What if the FBI arranged those documents at Mar-a-Lago? What is it with people on the web? That's a legitimate question.
Yeah, it is, Hugh. It's listen, the Twitter sphere is really interesting depending on where your point of view is. And people pipe up about all kinds of things. I think Bret's just asking questions as he does. He's an active Twitter user.
Yes.
And it's interesting to see the pushback.
Well, you're active too, but you're with malice towards none and charity towards all kind of guy. Lincoln second inaugural. You don't get mad at anybody. All right, I want to do some hard reporting here right now, though. Bret is a golfer. First time I met him, he was coming off a course in Phoenix. John Kyle and I were having breakfast with a bunch of John Kyle's buddies, and he's one of those deceptive golfers, like Dick Hauser. You think, they're up in years. Maybe I'll give him a couple of strokes. So the key hard news question: do you give Bret strokes when you play?
Yes.
Oh!
Yes, I do.
Oh, you've been conned.
I've played in college, and so I'm hanging on to a 3 handicap, but I'm usually a walking wallet. I'm usually handing money out to people, but I do give Bret Hume strokes.
Have you played with Dick Hauser? Do not give that man strokes. Have you ever played with him?
That's true. I have, actually, down in Florida. And, you don't want to give too many strokes to Dick.
What do you put, absolutely not, but what do you put in the old adage, if you want to know a person, play around a golf with them?
Well, I think that there's something to that. I think golf is, there's a life lesson to golf. It's you can learn a lot about a guy, how they deal with adversity. It's just you out there. But it's also, 4.5 hours walking with somebody. And I've gotten to know a lot of people from playing golf.
Now, I am a terrible golfer, and I've given it up, but I was a very good caddy. I've told people I learned more about people caddying for them. You know who cheats. That's the one thing. You know who cheats, right? Everybody knows who cheats.
Exactly. And for the purest golfers, that's an absolute no-no. And
if you touch that ball in the sand trap, you call yourself a stroke. If you double tap that putt, stroke. No foot wedges. All right. So let's go back to we'll go back to the news. I've got Dr. Oz coming up. Did you watch Stephanie Ruhle's interview? That's in quotes because it wasn't live. I believe it was edited. I'm not sure. Did you watch that yet?
I saw clips of it, and there's some sentences I just didn't follow.
I think he's impaired, and I believe Stephanie was doing, you know how it's easy to fall into a softball interview when you feel sorry for someone. You give them the answer and the question. Can I play this for Bret, please?
Sure.
Bret Baier, let's play cut number 16.
How do you serve all Pennsylvania voters? It's a very big state, right? Think about Western PA. In Pittsburgh, where the economy was thriving before COVID, filled with tech companies and universities. There's probably all sorts of people there thrilled about student debt forgiveness. But go 30 minutes outside to Beaver County, where there's likely voters who are saying, I just want a good kindergarten. I want a good 5th grade. How do you serve both voters? We've got a complicated economy. People want very different things.
I just think people need to understand and be able to recognize, what their lives are really like. And we believe and we know that we actually do that. Very important too. And, living in Western Pennsylvania, living across the street, actually where we're having this interview right now, right across from a steel mill, we have to understand that we all can't work at Google or we can't all be working at a hospital. We have to make sure that we are making more stuff here in Pennsylvania and in America. And we also have to make sure that we address to an obscene minimum wage. And how can we now, running for the Senate, and you own 10 homes and you are not unwilling to raise a minimum wage above $7.25 an hour?
Bret, you understand it's a word salad, and I feel sympathy for him. He's recovering from a stroke. He's doing pretty well for a stroke victim. Saved his life. That they got him to a hospital in a hurry. But Stephanie's question, she's a very good broadcaster. It was very long. It gave him the answer, and it still didn't work.
No, it's true. Yeah, I mean, I always think about when asking questions, the shorter the better, preventing someone from getting an off-ramp. And, in that question, it kind of provided the off-ramp for him. He didn't take it effectively well.
He didn't take it.
Yeah, but it was there. So I think, listen, I think that race is going to be fascinating. I do think it's going to close even further. It's whatever it is, 3-4 points in the latest polls. And I think that as you start looking at policies, not personalities or crudité or whatever you want to talk about in Pennsylvania from these different things that we've talked about so far, I think there will be a pretty stark line drawn, or at least the Republicans are going to try to, in the policies.
When someone brings up polling, you know this because I've done it on Special Report a couple of times, Joe. I'm going to stop doing it, I promise you, is that I'm like a jukebox. Someone mentions polls, and I say they're all broken. I don't trust them.
Slowly I turn.
Yes. So now I'm trying not to do that. So Herschel Walker is ahead in Georgia, and Joe O'Dea is ahead in Colorado. And I tell people, we can't trust the good news either, but we trust the direction of the polls. I think the student loan thing backfired, Bret. I really do. What do you think?
Yeah, I do too. I do think that it's a few points of people who, either paid off their loans or didn't go to college. And you start, that's a major political gift for the Democrats. We're heading in the right direction, I think. And a lot can change, obviously, in a short time before November. But I think that was a political gift to Republicans that some of them are going to jump on.
Sometimes you just got to see the dots. Every Republican wants to talk about it on this show. No Democrat wants to talk about it. They're running away from it. Tim Ryan, Michael Bennet, Maggie Hassan. And the president didn't talk about it Tuesday night in Pennsylvania, which brings me to his speech tonight. You, poor man, probably have to watch that live. I'm going to a restaurant. I'm getting in a boat in Mid-Coast, Maine, going to a restaurant, and I'll watch it on tape after the show, after dinner. You're not old enough to remember Jimmy Carter doing the Malaise speech, but if this isn't Malaise 2.0, I will be shocked. What are your expectations for this?
Well, I think that they've made a choice. This is a much different choice to talk about MAGA Republicans being a threat to democracy. You've made a long jump from the soul of the nation speech that he gave, a year and a half ago, in which he said you can't demonize the other side. And so, I understand what they're trying to do, but I think in the process, there's going to be some blowback from people who feel like this is a basket of deplorables kind of thing.
It's what I think it is. Bret Baier, we will be taping Fox News Special Report tonight and your analysis both before and after the presidential address. It's a major political moment. There's no place better to watch it than Fox News with Bret Baier. Thank you, Bret. Don't give strikes to Dick Hauser. Be well.